Swig and Rod here for your Monday edition of our live show. We're live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Sorry, we're a little bit running behind schedule today. It's 100% my fault. I had a call and I had to take it, and I had to stay as long as I needed to stay. So that's the break sometimes, but it doesn't stop us from showing up and doing free picks and doing what we do here. Chris, how was the weekend? We missed you yesterday. Late
I miss
scratch.
you guys. Yeah, I miss you guys too. Unfortunately, someone came up last minute, and I had to bolt. But I'm happy to be back, ready for a new week. Looking forward to today's card. I'm excited for the national championship game. Feels like we just blinked and March Madness is already over.
Yep. How about you, Rod? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Looking forward to this new week ahead. I had a rough weekend, so those happen. Start a new week.
Nature of the beast.
It is, yeah.
Those are going to happen from time to time. Sometimes the ball goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. Like last night, I had the Nuggets on the money line, and if I would have been laying the points, I would have been a loser. But had them on the money line, and ended up winning in one of the better games that you'll see. So I know a lot of cappers had the Warriors plus the points. The line actually shifted. So in that game, I think the Nuggets were actually dogs when all was said and done. But I had gotten it, of course. I'd already bet it when they were money line favorites. But oh well, I'll take it any way you can get it. I never send the money back, regardless if I got the best numbers or not. I didn't get the right number. I'll just let you have the money. Said no one
You just
ever.
keep it. It's okay.
Said no one ever.
Yeah.
I got one guy on wants to kill me in the YouTube comments. I asked him to put his picks in before the game started. He was talking about his parlay. I always think there's a little bit of confusion there. I just think that when you go in there and you say, I hit this parlay yesterday, that, to me, it just sounds like you're bragging, right? And the argument was yesterday in the comments was that some people were saying that, no, they're just thanking the handicapper for giving them the picks, And I say, well, if they're thanking the handicapper, then why are they saying I hit a parlay yesterday and not saying thank you? I hit a parlay. Thank you for your picks. I used them to hit a parlay yesterday, right? It's like if you're thanking the capper, doesn't thank you be part of the equation
Right. if you're just going, I hit this parlay.
That's 100% why I take it that way. Is because if you're thanking someone, then thank you would generally be part of at least one sentence that you're saying. So this guy's going to find me and whatever he wants to find me and kill me or whatever he wants to do. But, I guess he's not that familiar with us because, everyone knows that you can find me all you want. I just call the cops and have you locked up and pretty much go full tilt on you. So we should give him a plea deal. We should do whatever. No. No way.
Where's that key? Oh,
0.
Yeah, it's gone into the field.
How about we give them 0?
Yeah.
This is over sports picks. You can imagine, if this goes to, something where it's like they arrest them and then they go to prosecute. The judge sitting there saying, and this is all about a parlay, a 5-team parlay. That's what this argument is about. Some people, they just take it a little bit too far, right? I wish I could show you guys this.
Prosecutor, can you approach the bench? Do you need to tell me you lost by the hook?
No, it wasn't even that. It was just saying, put your picks in before the game starts. Really, that's what it came down to.
I know. No, I get it. It's just I'm just trying to imagine how the dialogue goes.
It's ridiculous, man.
I object, Your Honor. He got it at 2.5.
And this guy found out my name, like I hide it. It's like, I know your name. I found it. It's Mitch Wilson. It's like, yeah, I don't really hide that.
Can we get a breaking news sound effect for that?
To me, it's like, you could be mad at someone for what they say about your parlay or anything like that, but it's like, settle down. You know, it's like, I'm just some guy on YouTube giving out sports picks. Anyways, man.
So what happens at Costco if you run out without showing your receipt? Do they chase you down?
Mm-hmm.
Do they?
Sometimes.
Do they really?
Sometimes
they'll chase you down. I always wondered that. I was like, you leave Costco and you're like, holy, look at this lineup to get out of the door.
Anyways, a lot of people, you know, they bash Jay Briggs for giving out the Mavericks all the time, but yesterday on our live show, he gave out Portland and said they had a chance to win the game. 19-point dogs against Minnesota. Outright winner.
Outright winner, yeah.
I guess that's why he has 20,000 views a day, more than most other channels. Just his one video.
He came out in the second half, too, because we were right in the middle of doing the afternoon hoop section, and he was like, take him again in the second half. Happens, yeah.
Anyways, we've got NCAA tournament final, Chris. San Diego State and UConn. You know, I thought UConn was a team all season that could be there. You know, I never doubted it for a second. I thought San Diego State had a nice team. I didn't think they had a team that could get there because I didn't think in Maui that they played well enough. Again, when they played against the top level competition. But, you know, they've been a good program for a long time. So I've been more shocked about other things than San Diego State making the final. It's not like the year Butler made it back-to-back years. You know, it's not like something like that. It's actually a lot different than that. But what do you think?
Yeah, you know, I really like this game. I really like the over here. I know a lot of people talk about the under, potentially, you know, San Diego State trying to slow down UConn, and UConn the other way they've imposed their will against teams like Gonzaga and Miami. You know, some solid offensive teams that they've slowed down, but I still think that, you know, San Diego State, they've shown that they can at least, you know, match offense with some teams. You know, they went toe to toe with FAU. They made the shots they had to, and you know, down the stretch. And even if, you know, we don't get a ton of offense from San Diego State in this one, UConn's been putting up points in bunches over the course of the tournament. They haven't scored less than 70 in any of their games so far. I think 132.5. I think it's just too light for this one. So I'm going to go with the over 132.5 in this one.
Oh, you, Rod? Anything?
And for me in this one, I'm going to take UConn. They've just been rolling right along. They've been beating teams by an average of 20.6 points is the difference. And the San Diego State team, they were lucky to win the last time out.
There's no luck at this point. At this point,
there was a little luck.
Nope.
Little luck.
No.
How many three throws they missed in that game? They hit like 60%.
They did that same thing all season long.
They were lucky to get the win last time.
I don't think so.
10 plus. UConn wins by 10 plus.
But I just don't trust. And all that stuff is fine, and UConn certainly deserves to be there. But San Diego State didn't get lucky. They won the game. They had an opportunity at the end of the game to hit a shot, and they did it. They won the game. They won. They made a stop at one end and hit a shot at the other end, put themselves in position to do that by pounding the offensive boards, and then they got there. I mean, they missed a million free throws after they pounded the offensive boards and got fouled in there too. I mean, there's a million things that they did wrong, but they did enough to win. They did not get lucky. They won the game. It wasn't luck. I like the over on with Chris. I think it's aggressively low. You know, there's a big trend for San Diego State to these overs. There's a big trend to UConn to the unders, right? So UConn, 18 of their last 19 out of conference games have all gone under. So that's the other side of it. Obviously, you know, San Diego State, 7 of their last 8 NCAA tournament games have all gone over. So kind of goes both ways. Anyways, move on. Go to no NBA today. Kind of weird, right? I think it's the last day without NBA until the playoffs. Go to NHL. Got the Wild versus Vegas. Got Dallas versus Nashville. And the Kraken versus Arizona. It's weird, right, Rod? Because, like, you would think the NHL would kind of do a blowout schedule with no NBA up against it, right? But, nah. It's like...
I think it's because they only have 3 today because they did a blowout weekend. Like, they had so many games on Saturday, and there were, like, so many games yesterday. More than they normally do on a Sunday. Normally, there's, like, only a couple on a Sunday, and they had, like, 9 yesterday. So, I think that's why we got 3. Wait till you look at tomorrow. We're back to the blowout schedule again. So.
Same thing with baseball and NBA tomorrow. Big full cards in both of those. What do you like in these 3 games, Rod?
And in these 3 here, I like the under between the Nashville and the Dallas Stars here. Both teams battling for playoff position. Nashville battling for their playoff life, and Dallas definitely still in. They're in 3rd now in the Central, but still there, right there in the thick of things for the battle for that Central division. So I like the under. Definitely going to feel like a playoff game there. Take the under in Nashville, Dallas.
I like Vegas in this one against the Wild. It just seems a little coin flippy to me, and you're getting plus money on Vegas. So I think anytime you're getting plus money in a coin flip game, you got to take the dog and take the plus odds, and I think that's pretty much where it is. Vegas playing pretty well recently. I mean, this is their time of year. They are a playoff type team. That's what they've been since their inception as a franchise. And I'm going to roll with them here against the Smudge. I don't know. I think the Wild should change their logo, man. Just looks like a big smudge to me. Ketchup, mustard, and relish. Chris?
I can go for a hot dog right now. Anyways, I'm going to go with the Seattle Kraken here on the puck line against the Coyotes. Coyotes lost 7 straight, and a lot of those they were competitive, but they lost their last 2 games to San Jose and Dallas by combined score 12-4. Give up 7 goals to the Sharks. You can give up more than enough to the Kraken to extend your losing streak here. The Kraken have been inconsistent, but the one thing that the Coyotes have been consistently doing lately is losing. So give me the Seattle Kraken. They've been playing better at home. I'll take them on the puck line here.
All right. What do you think of the new baseball with those new rules? You've been watching any of the games?
I've been watching. I'm still trying to get used to the pitch clock. And sort of just seeing how it sort of affects the starters now. But I mean, it's been business as usual. I think a little bit. I'm excited to see a lot more attempts at stealing bases and stuff like that. But yeah, it's still early on. Still a lot of time to see how teams are going to adjust to the new rules.
How about you, Rod?
Yeah, definitely been watching baseball, and that pitch clock really doesn't. It does speed things up a little, but it doesn't affect all the pitchers. Over 70% of the pitchers don't. That doesn't affect them. They're not. And there's only that select few that really doesn't change their the speed of their change of how quick they're going to throw the next pitch. It does speed the game up a little bit, but other than that, it's still been some pretty good baseball we've seen there early on.
I think the pitch clock has made it good baseball. I mean, I love it, man. I'm a big fan of the pitch clock. I'm a big fan of charging the batters, who I felt was always a big part of the equation as well, as far as making the game longer. Back in the day, the guys didn't do that where they took off the gloves every single play, undo the gloves, step out of the box. I mean, the guy throws a ball. He doesn't even swing. He doesn't do anything. And the guy steps out of the box, undoes the glove. It's like, that's what made the game so long, Yeah. It's a big part of it. Just like I felt on the mound visits, on the mound visits that that was really not a big piece of it. Most of the guys back in the day only wore one batting glove. Now they all wear two. Now George Brett, who was really one of the best baseball hitters ever, right? I mean, in my days, right, of watching baseball. You ever see the Pine Tar game? You ever see a video of it? Or you guys remember the Pine Tar game?
The sprinting out of the dugout.
Right, but do you remember the Pine Tar game? Do you remember the Pine Tar game?
I remember it vaguely.
Right, but so there's the Pine Tar game. Rod, you know the Pine Tar game?
It sounds familiar.
All right, so the Pine Tar game it's a very famous Major League Baseball game. What happened was that the Royals were playing the Yankees, and it has to be these two teams. They were big rivals at the time. George Brett is up at the end of the game, and he's got a shot to win the game for the Royals. And what does he do? He steps up to the plate and just smacks one right out of the park. So, of all people, Billy Martin walks out of the Yankee dugout. He was the manager at the time. Picks up Brett's bat off the ground. And then the amount of pine tar that you're allowed to have on the bat, it's the width of home plate. It's the exact width of home plate is the amount of pine tar you're allowed to have on the bat. Brett had maybe this much extra pine tar on the bat rolling up the barrel of the bat beyond the distance of the plate. The Yankees protested the game right there on the spot, and Brett was ruled out. He came running out of the dugout. It's very famous. You have to Google it. The moral of the story is George Brett wasn't wearing batting gloves when he hit the pine tar home run. And he's one of the greatest hitters to ever play the game. And it's basically batting gloves were invented just so they have another thing to sell. That's all it is. It's just another product where they have something to sell. They do not do anything. They do nothing. A lot of times in the summer games when it was they might be sweating. Some guys wore one batting glove. You look at the great hitters of all time, like Ty Cobb. You think he wore a batting glove? Like two batting gloves, and you think he did this every single time? They threw a ball, he got out of there. It's so annoying just to see that, and it just takes the game and it makes it so much longer, I mean, Google like any of these great hits, and just get a still picture of it, and you'll see that in all these famous at-bats and all these famous hitters, very few of them are wearing more than one glove. It's rare, So here's Rod Carew. He's wearing two gloves in this picture. In this picture, he's wearing two gloves. In this picture, he's wearing one glove. So it was more based on the weather conditions. In this picture, 1973, he's wearing no gloves. He was the batting champion that year. He won the batting title with no gloves. Can you imagine? Gloveless. He did it gloveless. I mean, I play golf. I don't wear a glove. Never. Like, if it's really raining and it's really slippery or whatever, I have a glove in my bag. I have to dig for it to find it. But I never wear a glove. If I don't have to, I don't wear it. Anyways, I think it's way better baseball without this. The hitting thing is the big piece of it to me, more so than the pitchers and the throwovers. All right, we'll get to today's action then, since you guys seem to have so much to say on the topic. Got the Brewers and the Mets. What are you doing, Chris? Writing a love letter to your fiance or something over there? I mean,
no. I
White
was trying
Sox
to find
Giants, Reds versus Cubs, Marlins versus Twins, and Nationals versus Rays. I'm up first. I'm gonna roll with first ballot Hall of Famer Johnny Cueto here against the Twins. I just always take. I'm worse than Jay Briggs in the Mavericks with Johnny Cueto. and I'm gonna take the Marlins here. I just think Cueto's a perfect guy for the job there. Tyler Mahle, the thing is with him is like when he was on the Reds, he was always seen as one of those pitchers that was a lot better on the road than he is at home. So you figure now he's traded away from Cincinnati. He's always on the road, right? He never has to pitch there anymore. But you know what? His numbers are even worse since he was traded. I'm going to take first ballot Hall of Famer Johnny Cueto in the Miami Marlins. Chris?
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Milwaukee Brewers here in the afternoon game. I think Milwaukee getting back home can really help him here, help him crank up some of the offense. Freddie Peralta, his strikeout numbers were down last year. The pitcher that lost the light bulb. He's a pitcher that didn't really give up a ton of hard contact last year. Really did a good job just giving up just soft contact and not giving up a lot of exit velocity, not allowing a lot of hard hit balls. That's what you got to do against this New York lineup that does have some powerful bats in it. I'm just not a Carlos Carrasco fan. He's a lot better at home. So I'll take Milwaukee laying the -120 on the road here.
Chris is our resident expert on hard hit balls. Rod, what do you got?
I'm gonna take the White Sox here at home. With Michael Kopech on the mound, he pitched pretty good at home last season. I think he just improves on that. His numbers from last season at home opener. I like the White Sox to win this one comfortably. So give me the White Sox in their home opener. Get a win over the Giants.
I have to strongly disagree with you there, and everyone knows I'm a ridiculous White Sox fan. I don't know. This team sucks. This is a bad. White Sox are a bad team. I understand they beat the Astros, but they always beat the Astros. The Astros are one of those teams that they've got their number. They always beat the Astros. It's like, I understand that the Astros are a great team and all that other stuff, but there's certain teams that just always beat the other team. And the White Sox, it's the Astros. Since they beat them in the World Series, the Astros have never gotten their revenge. They've never gotten it, man. It's like when the White Sox won the World Series, the Astros were in the National League. That's who they played. And
well, good thing they played the Giants today, and the Giants are 0-4.
No, I'm just saying that. I'm just saying they're coming off a series. I'm just saying they're coming off a series against the Astros.
Oh, I know, and I know.
But the White Sox bullpen, so their numbers are overstated. The White Sox bullpen is so bad, they're horrific. Write it down. They stink. So I could maybe see a White Sox first five if Kopech can hold it together for 5 minutes, which we've never seen him do throughout his career. But DeSclafani, since being traded to the Giants, is a totally different pitcher than what he was. Remember, what the Giants do to these pitchers once they get them. I mean, Kevin Gausman was a viable option when he was on San Francisco. Look at him now. He's back to the same guy he was in Baltimore all those years, a guy with a lot of potential. Now, the thing is that, DeSclafani, what we saw from him when he was healthy with the Giants, some really, really good stuff. Last year, he only played in the 5 games. He had 2 losses. They had to shelve him. So that ERA, I think last year is kind of just like a horse race that you throw out they throw out the race. But when you look at him, the prior year, the 3.17 in San Francisco, did the 3.89 in Cincinnati Reds, the best hitters park in America. 3.28 with the Cincinnati Reds as one of the best hitting park in America. He's a good year, bad year guy. And this would be the good year. I'd watch out. I think DeSclafani's going to, I love my White Sox. I don't love this team that they have this year because I hate the bullpen. I hate their guts. I hate them. I hate their freaking guts. Got to disagree with you, Rod.
Over 500 or under 500 on the White Sox this season?
The thing is, generally they're terrible on the road and they're decent at home, but I don't know, man. I just think, I
think the Giants are worse. So.
That game on, what was it, Friday night when they lost? Yeah, Friday night when they had the lead, then they had to put the bullpen in. They took a 3-0 lead into the 6th. They gave up 6 runs in 2 innings with that bullpen. Who was it? Who are the culprits this time? It's the same names that we know over and over. I mean, you know who they are, Rod. It's Kendall Graveman.
But I'm looking at the The White Sox can score
Diekman.
more runs than the Giants. That's all it takes to win this game. How many runs did the Giants get in their first 3 games? Not a whole lot.
Yeah, they played in New York against the Yankees.
Right. So now they're coming into Chicago.
Pretty tough call. They beat them. They beat the Yankees one of those games. They beat them. You can beat the Yankees in New York. Diekman gets the blown save on that. This is the beautiful stat line. 0.1 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned, 1 walk. It's like his 27 ERA, deservingly so. You know, that's what that equals. All that stuff equals. It doesn't even count the inherited runners that he gave in. Because Kendall Graveman's just jolly old stat line. 0.2 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs. I mean, how do you give up 2 hits and 3 runs? How? You walk 2 guys in 2/3 of an inning. He gave up 2 hits, 2 walks in 2/3 of an inning. This is Kendall Graveman, the guy who was like the setup man of the century in Seattle. He goes to Chicago, and this is what he becomes. He makes us say, "Why did they take Lambert out?" That's what happens. That's how ugly it's gotten on the South Side. This is one of the more frustrating White Sox things that I've seen since they said, "Oh, I've got a great idea for DH." And who was that solution? Mark Kotsay. It was one of the worst days of my life. It's like they've announced our new designated hitter will be Mark Kotsay. You know what he batted that year, Rod? What did Kotsay bat in his last year at DH in Chicago?
Probably not good.
218.
Because we don't.
I was going to say 216.
It might have been 216. Was it 216, Chris?
I don't know. That was just going to be my guess was 216. I was going to try to prices right it.
Oh gosh, Kotsay, man. He was just terrible, man. Bleacher Report did a story that year. Statistically, the 5 worst Chicago White Sox players, it was Gordon Beckham, Alejandro De Aza, Mark Teahan. Oh God, what a disaster! I'd almost forgotten Teahan. Jason Nix. And then the number 1 worst player, Mark Kotsay, minus 0.9 WAR. Mark Kotsay is to the White Sox what Jessica Simpson was to Cowboys fans. Unwanted, unnecessary, and always finding a way onto TV.
I will say he hit 239 in his last year with Chicago, so not as bad as I thought.
Kotsay, when batting in the 5 or 6 position, batted 238 with a 308 on base percentage, 8 homers and 31 RBIs. He was the DH. It's like the fact that Kotsay was the worst player in the White Sox this season, yet still showing up 4 to 5 days a week in the lineup is an indictment on both the general manager and the manager. I'm telling you, I've never even seen this article, but I couldn't agree with it more.
That's like the email that you get. It's like the customer service manager complaining about someone not doing their job.
Oh man. I did the Nerfy video. My Nerfy video. 9 Nerfies on today's card. Or Yerfies. Yes runs. I try and clarify it in the video. The over half a run. But I did that. I'm enjoying it. I like doing that video. Anyways. Rod, I strongly disagree with your pick. And I'm a White Sox fan. So I hope you're right.
Well, there you go.
I hope you're right.
Guess we'll talk about it tomorrow and see what happens.
Well, we don't talk about yesterday tomorrow.
I know we don't, so that's why it'll be like.
The only things we say about yesterday tomorrow is number 1. The only things that are acceptable to say is they busted up my parlay, or
well, I can talk about it on the drive-through because it'll be it's an early game today.
Or
so we can see will be done by the
The
draft.
Timberwolves lost by 18 as 19-point favorites against the Blazers. They're gonna be mad. They're gonna be mad. Get 'em. Mad. Speaking of mad, Nestor Cortez against Taiwan Walker in the Bronx. We got Cutter Crawford and Johan Oviedo squaring off at Fenway Park with the Red Sox Pirates. Brady Singer and, oh no, not Barrios, for the Blue Jays. How is Jose Barrios favored on the road? What the hell's going on in this world? Got the Cardinals and the Braves. It's the only respectable matchup I see here. And the Rangers and the Orioles. Chris, what am I missing?
I don't think you're missing anything, and that's why I'm taking the Kansas City Royals. Toronto didn't look good to close out that series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Chris Bassett gave up 4 home runs in that game, and now you got to go to your next starter in Jose Barrios, who probably could afford to have a couple good starts here. He does have a history with the Kansas City Royals, so he does know a fair bit. I've seen this team frequently, but doesn't mean I'm ready to back him here. He was terrible last year, and for me, I'm taking a case of I'll believe it when I see it with Jose Barrios. Brady Singer was arguably the best pitcher that the Royals had last season, and I think he gets the job done here at home. Helps get the Royals their first win. So I'm going to take the Kansas City Royals even money in this one.
Right.
And for me, I'm going to take the Baltimore Orioles over Texas. I know Texas is off to a nice hot start, but that was against the Phillies. This Orioles team upstart. Sure, Buddy dropped the ball and they got a loss. Otherwise, they'd be 2-1 in the season, not 1-2. And if you look, the Baltimore Orioles have 8 wins as underdogs versus these Texas Rangers as well. So give me the Orioles to continue that streak, make it 9 straight as underdogs against Texas.
I'm going to have to roll with that over in Boston with the Red Sox and the Pirates. I can't help myself. Cutter Crawford's pitching. That usually means that I'm going the other way. This guy can give up runs in bunches. And I'm going with the over against Johan Oviedo. I thought Houck was originally in there. Did they change that? Or did Houck go yesterday? It all starts to run together. What's going on? Yeah, it's Cutter Crawford, all right. I think you could even maybe put a little bit on the Pirates there with Johan Oviedo. Pirates looked really good in Cincinnati, getting smoked by the Reds. Nothing ever pretty about that. Houck was yesterday. I just can't get it out of my system. I also like the over half a run in the first inning in the Pirates Red Sox and the game over. Got any premium picks today, Chris? What are you selling?
Today I got a $19 MLB pickoff play and got an MLB triple play, a couple of single plays as well from college hoops and NHL as well.
How are you, Rod?
And for me, I got an MLB Money Monday triple pack in MLB. Scoop that up. Or I've got my $19 NHL sniper play, single low play in the NHL.
Sniper. It's the sniper play. That Anaheim run puck line yesterday, big winner against Calgary.
Big winner. I was hoping the Ducks were going to outright them.
Minus 520 for the Flames yesterday. That's why Chris couldn't come on the show. He was too busy over at the sports book laying the big money on the minus 520. Go to our last set of games. Johan Oviedo. Astros versus Tigers. Padres versus Diamondbacks. A's versus Guardians. Seattle versus Angels. And Dodgers versus Rockies. Rod?
For me in this one, I'm going to go with George Kirby at home for Seattle. I know they haven't been looking great. They're off to a 1-3 start, but the Angels on the road definitely not been the greatest team on the road. They've also failed to cover the run line as road dogs versus the AL in 7 straight. So I'm going to go with Seattle here to beat up on the Angels at home here. I'm not a big Reed Detmers fan. I think he's going to get touched.
I read on Twitter that you were a big Reed Detmers fan.
No, I'm definitely not a Reed Detmers.
It was in the profile. You know how you get those extra characters under your screen name? It says things you get to say, like long walks on the beach and Reed Detmers.
That's Reed Detmers. Yeah,
that's what it said. All right, that's what I read. It said that.
Just repeating what I saw.
And then in parentheses, Chris, big fan. Air quotes, big fan. That was gonna last August at least. Oh man. Rod's like, I hope he pitches weekends so we don't have to listen to this crap.
I really does hope he pitches on weekends.
I'm gonna fade Ryan Weathers. I can't help myself. I'm also gonna take the yes runs first inning there, and first 5 for the Diamondbacks as well. I don't know. The Padres are. Everyone talks about like they're gonna run away with the West. Everyone is saying that, and but how could you say you're gonna be this runaway winner in the West and then say today we'll be starting Ryan Weathers? It's like it just doesn't even sound right. I mean, his best year was 2021 when he had a 5.32 ERA and a 4-7 record. He gave up 20 home runs that season. Last year they only let him pitch 1 game. He started. He went 3.76 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 strikeouts. But he did manage to walk in less than 4 innings, 4 batters, that's the quality stuff. So he allowed 6 hits and 4 walks, 10 base runners in that span for the tune of a 9.82 ERA. This is kind of like the Trey Lance season that I had. It was only 72 minutes long, but I enjoyed every second of it. You know? And I think Ryan Weathers, that we might not get to see a lot of him this season. So we might as well take it in while we can. You know, I mean, he did have that 1 year. He started 18 games, 4 wins, 7 losses, and a save. 94.7. These are Weathers type numbers. This is the line on him. And watching him pitch, you could see how he could put together this type of resume. 94.7 innings pitched, 101 hits, 57 runs, 30 walks, and 20 dingers in 94 innings. That means if he pitched like Scherzer numbers, he'd give up like over 40 home runs in a season. That's not, I mean, 20 home runs in 94.7. Think about it. He gave up 101 hits. 1 out of every 5 hits that he gives up leaves the park.
Yeah.
Yet he's the number 5 starter in this rotation for a team that's planning on winning the Western Division of the National League. And Rod's over here bashing DeSclafani. I don't think so. Big fan of Reed Detmers. I bet you the Padres would take him.
I bet you they would too.
Big fan. Can't stand Weathers. Chris? Not Weathers.
Oh, no.
No, not Weathers. It will be Weathers.
Not the weather.
It's like, what are they thinking, man? It's like
there's a 100% chance he's gonna get his ass kicked today.
knock knock. Weathers who? Weathers gonna get his ass kicked. Bad go.
I'm gonna go with the Houston Astros on the run line here. I really like Hunter Brown. We saw a small sample size of him last year, and it was really good. He looked every bit the top prospect that the Astros had projected him to be, and the Detroit Tigers looked absolutely awful in their opening series against the Rays. Don't think it gets any easier here. Matthew Boyd, there's a reason this guy hasn't been able to really cut it as a starter. Keeps getting bounced around from starting rotation to the bullpen. I just don't think he's good enough here. I think he's going to get torched by the Astros here, give up 4 or 5 runs in the start. I love the Astros on the run line here.
But the thing is, Matthew Boyd looks like Hunter Brown compared to Weathers. It's like Hunter Brown grew up in Detroit, right? Isn't he from Detroit? I think he's from Detroit.
I think so.
He learned how to pitch. He learned how to pitch by watching Verlander.
Yeah. I remember that story. We were talking about it last year. Yeah.
It is a nice story. 0.89 ERA, 7 games, 2 starts, 2-0 record, 20 innings pitched, 15 hits, 2 runs, 7 walks, 22 strikeouts, and 20 less home runs than Weathers gave up 2 seasons ago. we should have the IRW stat. IRTW. What's his IRW? Home runs given up in relation to Weathers, plus or minus. He's got a +6 Weathers index.
You know what?
Baseball's such a stat-heavy sport. I mean, I bet you it sticks. Someone's probably listening. They're going to start mentioning it on their shows.
Should have a Weathers jackpot like they do on the news every time. Got to project every time Weathers starts how many home runs he's going to give up. If we get it wrong, give out a prize.
Freaking Weathers. Better Weathers is pitching, going to the game. Weathers pitching. I'll pack you a lunch. It's like you're going to be there for a while. That's a guy that you got to figure the pitch clock's not going to help.
Yeah, he was struggling when he had all the time to think about what he wanted to do. Now he's going to be rushed.
Rod, did you go already?
I did, yep.
All right. So any games on the board that we talked about or didn't talk about that you guys didn't get a chance because you only had limited times in your slot to talk about them. So anything else on the board you want to talk about? Chris?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not to beat the dead horse, but I'm with you on the Diamondbacks. Ryan Nelson was really good last year, 1.47 ERA, and he already saw the Padres twice and looked pretty good against them. And yeah, I can't. Ryan Weathers his last 7 starts, I think, has an ERA up over 13. So yeah, got to go with Arizona there.
Ryan Weathers saying that they're saying the word on Weathers is that he's changed his delivery.
Okay. So is the guy I normally order my Uber from. Doesn't mean it's any more effective.
Uber Eats. He changed his delivery to actually delivering it to me before eating it before he gets there.
We always knew he was serving up meatballs. I just didn't know that's what he meant.
Mechanical adjustments. A lot of trial and error last year, he said.
Emphasis on error.
More error than trial, man. Oh, man. Terrible. He's straight ass. Rod, did you have any games you wanted to talk about?
No, I got to talk about the ones that I had written down. It was good to go.
All right.
It actually worked out pretty good.
That's some dumb luck.
Sometimes it works. That is just some dumb luck, yeah. Just some dumb luck there. That
just happened to all come together for you. I kind of like the over 9 in the Cincinnati-Chicago game at Great American. You got Connor Overton going in that one. Another guy on my list. I got a whole list. I mean, I held up in one of my videos today. I think it was the Atlanta St. Louis. I held up my notebook with all my lists in it. It's funny when I'm on my conference calls for business. People say, I'm like, yeah, I start writing. They're like, we just put you on his list, and I start flipping through, showing everybody because all I have are lists. It's like Yes, you're on my list.
You're down
Pulling out a
on the list.
Rolodex.
I mean, Connor Overton's got the potential to hit this over on his own if he really applies himself. And Drew Smiley, he was born on the over. It's like Drew Smiley was born like on the 22nd, but actually it's the 23rd because it went over. It's like it's too much. I like the over at Great American. I'm gonna parlay that. Red Sox over. Parlay. Reds. So that's gonna be my parlay. Red Sox over. Red Sox Pirates over. Red Sox Pirates over. Reds Cubs over. Cardinals Braves under. 3 orange whips. Chris.
Mine, I'll go with a home run prop parlay. I'm going to go with Aaron Judge and Yordan Alvarez both to hit a home run plus 1,200.
And mine, I'm going to go Seattle, Baltimore, and the White Sox. Parlay those three. Yeah.
Well, this way you can salvage the parlay and you'll still have those other two to work with after the afternoon game. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Make it a winning day. We appreciate each and every one of you. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and just remember, we're just doing sports picks here, man. There's no reason to get all bothered, whatever. If you don't like what we're saying, go somewhere else. Make it a winning day. We appreciate each and every one of you.